So, ladies and gentlemen, that's a good segue into we have the dumbest bill in America. We have some music for that, Mr. Producer. Dum 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 dum. So, Minneapolis voters had a decision on their ballot whether they were going to defund and dismantle the Minneapolis Police Department. I believe we have a clip on that.
Laura, the results are in, and voters have rejected this proposal to dismantle the Minneapolis Police Department. This is a major blow to progressive Democrats and to the defund the police movement overall. Remember, Minneapolis became ground zero for the defund movement after the death of George Floyd, and activists believed if they could win here, it would set the stage for them to dismantle other police departments in cities across the country. Standing in their way, though, has been a group of leaders from the black community who have been the most outspoken critics of this plan to dismantle Minneapolis Police Department at a time when the city is seeing a surge in violent crime and is on pace to break records for homicides. Black communities have been the hardest hit by this wave of crime, and those leaders argue that while reforms to police are needed, their neighborhoods need more officers, not fewer.
So I'm just shocked that the results of having less police makes the streets more dangerous. I mean, is that...
That doesn't add up, Matt. So you're telling me that less law enforcement leads to more lawlessness? That's not right. That's impossible.
Well, I mean, that's what we've been told for years now, or at least last year, since the riots of last year, that it was really the police to be blamed on this. And it's interesting that the out of control crime, that the greatest victims of these crimes seem to be African Americans, and these communities are actually victims. And this is what happens when we pay more attention to the police, and the policies are actually causing more problems than they're fixing.
Yeah, and you can see it. It's not just Minneapolis. It's across the American landscape. Now you look at every Democrat city that has decided we're going to defund the police or make them the enemy. And what has happened? Crime has gone through the roof. And who has that really hurt? It hurt some of the police departments. Obviously, people have either left the job. But who it really hurts are the ones affected mostly by this crime. And many times, just like Minneapolis pointed out, it is the low income. It's the poverty-stricken areas that are now being crime-ridden to the point that they have become almost prisoners within their own neighborhood. They have to lock their doors and stay inside. They go outside, they can get robbed. Stores are being robbed. People are being carjacked. Baltimore City is a perfect case of this too. That if you're less than 18 years old and you carjack somebody at 17, you're back out in a year. And that's why we see 500 plus carjackings. And if you take more and more police off the street, you're going to get more and more of this. So the American people have to ask themselves, and the people living in these cities, are you comfortable with the crime wave? Are you comfortable with crime going up? Are you comfortable with feeling like you're in danger no matter what you do? Or do we want to reverse this and say this was a bad idea?
So this was a definitive answer by the voters saying, you know what? We don't want to defund our police. We believe, if crime's a problem, the police are there as part of the solution to solve the high crime rates. I'm just wondering how this will play in with any type of vaccine mandate on police, on fire, rescue, going forward, because they're looking at laying off a whole bunch of people in the city of Chicago and really cities around the country now, or you're forcing these guys into a vaccine that some of them don't want to take. And you might result in less police.
And once again, I believe it's intentional. I don't believe this is anything to do with science anymore, because the vaccine, and I don't care if you take it or if you don't take it, we're seeing the results, and the vaccine is no miracle drug, and people have the right to say no, but I think it's intentional. I think it's an intentional motive by government, whether it's from all the way at the top of the White House or just some of the local control, where they like to force these people out. They like to push people on unemployment, because guess who's in power then? The more you rely on the government, and that's what they're going to do. They want people on unemployment. They don't like the police. So we say, hey, we're going to put this vaccine mandate in. Guess what we do? We accelerate unemployment. We push the cops off the street. We destroy the economy, and more people have to rely on us. So I think that's what, when you break it down to brass tacks, that's what the vaccine mandate is really about. It's got nothing to do with science. It's just all about submission.
Well, I'm really concerned about how the people are, if they're going to be safer now, if you cut a lot of these public services like police, fire, and we'll see how that plays out.